Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me on your Saturday. I really appreciate it. Today, we are going to talk about high school financial literacy courses from EVERFI, how you can use them in your class, our big library that we have, and the fact that they are free. They're free. So here's a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. I'll introduce myself, talk about what EVERFI is. I'll go through the actual instructional resources that we have. We call them courses. And then we'll go through instructions on how to get started, and we'll leave with some time for Q&A and time to set up your EVERFI account if you haven't already. So my name is Rachel Murray. I am the regional implementation lead for Nevada, and I'm based in Nebraska. Typically, you have an EVERFI person located right in Las Vegas. She's out on medical leave until the summer, and so I'm your go-to in the meantime. But once she's back, you'll have that local EVERFI support who can assist you in person or virtually. But in the meantime, it's me. And so my email address is listed there, my phone number, and then I also included my meeting link. I'll show this slide at the end of the presentation if you decide, I want to have a one-on-one with Rachel and dive a little bit deeper. So that's a little bit about me, but what is EVERFI? If you haven't heard of EVERFI before, we are an education technology company, and we offer digital lessons for K-12 students. They are all self-grading. They are supplemental, so not an entire curriculum. They are standard aligned, and they are self-paced. So students are working on their own device at their own rate. All of our resources are completely free. And they also focus on topics that are just real world topics: financial literacy, STEM and career readiness, early literacy, health and wellness, prevention, and history. And so we've got about 40 different courses that by creating an account, you automatically have access to. And so today we're going to dive deep into the high school financial literacy courses. Pop questions in the chat as they come up, but I'll have time at the end to answer questions too. We just want to be your partner. We want to be another tool in your toolbox. So on top of the gamified lessons that your students will get to use, all of the lessons are self-grading so that you can see pre and post assessment data, so that you can upload that information into your grade book if you're taking it for a grade. And we also have that local support person, typically right in your state, me in the meantime. So you have someone who is a pro at your city, your state, understands Nevada teachers, which is what we really want. And so again, we are completely free. A little bit more about EVERFI. We have over 5 million student learners, which is incredible that over 5 million students are using our platform. We have more than 750,000 teachers in our network, more than 13,000 school districts that are our partners, and 1 in 4 schools is using an EVERFI program. So we're out there. We're not a new product. We've been around for 15 years. And so we really like to see ourselves as that expert in this digital education space. All of our content is developed with subject matter experts. We align everything to state and national standards as well as Jumpstart standards. And then we have an entire dedicated implementation team ready to help you. It's free, but how is it free? It sounds too good to be true. I promise it's not. So we have different business partners who pay for all of the funding for the EVERFI courses. So they pay for the development of these digital resources. That is how we have a team. That's how we make our money too. We have a team to support you. And then those business partners also offer additional opportunities such as scholarships or events that students can participate in. And so some of those partners are big financial institutions like MassMutual, Varo. We also have a lot of local banks who like to donate their money. That's basically their way of doing community service. So a lot of local banks like to choose your schools as the ones that they want to donate their money to. We have other sponsors such as the NFL, the NHL, the MLB. We've got Major League Soccer involved. So we just have this really cool partnership of these businesses that want to be involved, but they know they're not the experts with teachers and with schools. So that's where EVERFI comes in. So now let's dive deep into the actual courses. This is everything for high school. I didn't want to include our big K-12 grid, it's a little overwhelming. So I just zoomed in on high school. And today I'm only going to be talking about the purple column, the financial education, but just know that you're getting access to all of these courses. So even if you're listening to the courses that I'm talking about and you decide like, it's not quite right, the right fit for my classes, know that there are STEM and career exploration classes, SEL/character education classes, courses, health and wellness, and history as well. And so, again, I'm focusing on the financial literacy, financial education courses today. This is our biggest library of courses. This is really where we started. It was our bread and butter course, that very first EVERFI financial literacy course I'll talk about here in a second, was our 101 finance course. It's there listed at the top. And if any takeaway that you have today is, I would say, if you don't know where to start with EVERFI, that is where I would suggest financial literacy 101. So you can see each course is modular. So there are between 1 and 7 lessons for each of the different courses. Each of the lessons ranges from 10 to 35 minutes each. These are suited for grades 9 through 12, but you might see some of them bump down a little bit into middle school. I'm not going to focus on the middle school courses in this presentation, but just know if you're looking at our content and you're thinking, my students aren't quite ready for this, you're more than welcome to use a middle school course and bump it up to high school. It does not matter to us. These are just kind of where we wrote it based on the standards. So we have all of these financial education pieces. And hopefully today I'm going to give you a little breakdown of all of them and then kind of go topic by topic, and you can kind of pick and choose the courses from that angle as well. Let's jump in. We have so many. So this was our first course, EVERFI Financial Literacy. This is our Finance 101 course. This is our basic course. If you are a team of financial literacy educators and you're trying to decide how to split this up with grades, I'd start this one with freshmen. And so it is the longest course that we have with these financial literacy ones, just because it is that bread and butter. We're trying to lay all of the basics down. So 7 lessons, 20 minutes each. Jumpstart aligned. We are aligned to the Nevada state standards, national standards. And if your district has more than 15,000 students, we've probably done a standard alignment to your specific social studies or wherever your financial literacy fits in. So if you want to see that, shoot me an email, I'll send it your way. I know we've done it for Clark and Washoe for sure. And if we haven't done it yet, we can create it for you. And so in finance and EVERFI FinLit, you can see the course topics there: banking basics, employment and taxes, budgeting, consumer skills, managing credit and debit, financing higher education, and then insurance. So just really getting kind of all of that 101 stuff that we need. If you have advisory classes, this is also a really good fit in advisory or like homeroom classes. It doesn't just have to fit into the business and finance or economics classes. In Clark County, for sure, this is a really good fit in the economics and government class, but we have seen this placed in all sorts of different classes. We know that this is real life learning, and you can make a connection in essentially any class that you have. Within that course, there is, and I highlight this because it's tax day, there is an actual TurboTax simulation. So it's in lesson number 2. The students go through filing their taxes. It gives them kind of a life situation, and then they go through the simulation to file their taxes. It's TurboTax and Intuit have been a really great partner, and they do offer scholarships specific to finishing this tax simulation. I'll talk about that later, but I just wanted to highlight that. The next course is Venture. So this one is focused on entrepreneurship. It fits really great in our entrepreneurship classes, but can be fit into any business classes as well. This one's a little bit shorter, 4 lessons, 20 to 25 minutes each. The students get to run a food truck. It's a food truck simulation. So that is their entrepreneurship adventure that they get to do. But here they're working on growing their business, creating a business pitch, and budgeting, and then just finding how to get their startup capital too. So Venture is another big one that we see with kind of the younger high school students, 9th and 10th grade. It can be used for 11th and 12th, no problem. It's just kind of that another basic course that we see in the 9th and 10th grade space. Next up is a credit one. It's called Build Credit Fundamentals. And so this one is more bite-sized. So it's 4 lessons, 12 minutes each. So if you have block scheduling, this can be done in one class period. Again, we see this one not just in those business classes or the personal finance classes, but in a lot of advisory classes, just because it's pretty bite-sized. And so this one is talking about defining credit, acquiring credit, growing credit, managing, and then addressing issues with credit. A lot of high schoolers end up having questions about credit cards already. And so this one is a really great one to just answer those questions. Even if you're not a business teacher in that space and you're the go-to teacher for kids and they're asking you these real life stuff, plug them into this and let them really explore. Next up is a investing course. So this one is called Marketplaces, and it is investing basics. This one is 5 modules. In total, it takes about an hour. So again, more bite-sized than that Financial Literacy 101 course. And this one talks about financial markets and exchanges, the government's role in the economy, growing a company through financing, and building an investment portfolio. This one also dives deep into the government's role in the interest rate, which has been a timely topic. It's been in the news. And so all of these are really easy. There are easy ways to tie these into current events and what's going on. And the students have questions about them. And so this is one of our most popular courses. There is an investment game included in this one as well. I will give you, or I'll show you how to access the demos for each of these courses, how to access the curriculum guides, and just dive deeper on your own. This is going to be high level overview of everything. And then you can kind of decide what's a good fit for your class and your students, and then dive deep on your own. But I will keep going. Next up, this one's called Money Moves. This one is about modern banking and identity protection. So this one is really talking about digital banking, how we don't have to go in person into the bank anymore, how banking apps work, and then how to be safe using those banking apps. So identity theft and fraud protection. And then it also dives into peer-to-peer transactions. So if you know that your students are using Venmo or Cash App a lot to go back and forth with each other, this just gives them a little bit more details on how it works and how to be safe with it. So again, this one, Jumpstart aligned, so it does fit into those kind of business classes, but it can fit anywhere. 4 lessons, 20 minutes each on this one. Next up, this is a brand new course this year, actually even just this spring. So this one is called Accounting Careers, Limitless Opportunities. 9th through 10th through 12th grade is the fit. There's just 2 lessons, 10 minutes each, really, really bite-sized. So this is great as a bell ringer, but it is introducing students to accounting, but letting students know that you don't have to work in the financial industry to be an accountant, so that they can really be an accountant in any industry at any company. And then also that just the skills from accounting, problem solving, math, what else am I thinking? Critical thinking, that all of these can be applied into other careers. So even if they're taking an accounting class in high school, they can apply those skills in just everywhere in their life. So this one it's a brand new, so I just took it recently, and it might be one of my favorites just because it's showing all of the different ways that you can be an accountant. Our sponsor for this one is the Center for Audit Quality. And the reason that they partnered with EVERFI was that they want to introduce accounting to a more diverse audience. There's not a lot of diversity in the accounting industry. And so I thought that was a really cool reason that they wanted to come to EVERFI and get in front of our students. Most of our courses are available also in English and Spanish. Next up, this is a brand new one as well, crypto foundations. Your students are asking you, I am sure, about crypto, or maybe they're talking about it. So this one is just 2 lessons, 15 minutes each, really bite-sized. It can fit anywhere. It is talking really about cryptocurrency, about blockchain, and then also NFTs or digital assets. It only is talking about the concepts. It's not talking about any specific trading platforms. It is talking about the different types of currency. So it mentions Bitcoin and Ethereum, and there's a few more, but it's not advising students on which trading platform to use or anything like that. It's really more talking about the technology and just the understanding of what is a cryptocurrency. So it's really just kind of down the line in the middle, just what is this? We had teachers really asking for crypto information because it's just so new and we don't know a lot about it, but these students are not afraid of it. And so Crypto Foundations, bite-sized, 2 lessons. It's a really fun one. The next one that we have is Pathways Financing Higher Education. We find that counselors really enjoy to use this one, but it can be used anywhere. But this one is talking about financing, college or post-secondary education. So what's the ROI, understanding financial aid, understanding student loans, budgeting for your loans, and then how you are supposed to repay those loans. And so, especially with those seniors that you are dealing with and they are starting to fill out the FAFSA, this is a great intro lesson before they start to fill out that FAFSA, start to apply for colleges, start to apply for financial aid. This next one is all about retirement and planning for life. So it's called Grow, Financial Planning for Life. 4 lessons, 10 minutes each. Again, this can be done in one class period. But this one is really talking about planning for the future, forming smart money habits now, growing wealth and the path that takes and that it is not instant, and then balancing expenses and savings. And so this one is also really great for like those 9th graders as just kind of an intro course, but it is looking a bigger picture and longer term. 4 minutes or 4 lessons, 10 minutes each. You can really be flexible with how you use this one. And then these are the last 2 that I'm going to mention. So these are brand new, released in the last 2 weeks. So if you're already an EVERFI teacher, maybe you haven't heard of these 2 yet. So the first one is Sustainable Investing Essentials. This one is talking about that buzz term ESG that we have been hearing about in the news. And it's just talking about how to make a sustainable impact, what sustainable investing is, making financial choices that are sustainable, and then being environmentally sustainable as well. 1 lesson, 20 minutes, bite size, make it an extra credit lesson. It can be plug and play. You could even relate it to find a news article about ESG, environmental social governance. And it's been such a buzzword in the news. So what a great way to kind of bring that full circle with your students. And then the other new one, these are so new, I haven't even taken these courses, just full transparency because they were just released. But the next one is called Minding Your Money, Skills for Life. And this one is focused on mental wellness and money and how money impacts your mental wellness. And so 4 lessons, 10 minutes each, talking about financial stages of life, growing wealth, financial well-being, money and mental health, and money and relationships. So bringing a little bit more of that SEL or character education into the money, because we know these topics are not siloed in your life. Everything is always mixing up. And so those are brand new, hot off the press. All right. That was so much information thrown at you. I understand we have a ton. I'm going to show you how to access all of these so you can deep dive. But first, I'm going to quickly go over just a few topics and show you how you can even grab some of the lessons from the different courses just to teach these topics. So because everything is modular, you are not required to teach every single module or make your students do every single module. You can pick and choose. We, of course, would want you to use every module of every single course, but we know that that's just not always going to make the most sense for your classroom. So, for example, here, if you are talking about setting financial goals, you have a couple options. Not only do you have the Financial Literacy 101 course, but you could also pull in from courses like Grow or Minding Your Money, where that's going to make sense. You can even, what we've seen teachers do is almost to choose your own adventure. Okay, we're talking about setting financial goals. Now you get to go pick between the different EVERFI courses. Do you want to do Grow? Do you want to do Minding Your Money? Do you want to do the Finance 101? And so just giving your students even more options based on kind of their interests and their values. For banking, if you have a big banking unit, maybe you have a local bank that comes in and has a student run bank, or they like to come in every year and just talk to your students. Well, you can do the Finance 101 course in the banking unit, in the banking module there. You could also do money moves, or, and then there's that financial literacy one, just the 101. So you can pull from these courses as well. Savings, if savings is a really big topic that you want to talk about, you can pull that from the FinLit 101 or Grow Financial Planning for Life. And then investing, this is a huge one. Some schools even have investing classes or courses. So you can pull this from the Financial Literacy 101 course, or the Marketplaces or Sustainable Investing Essentials. Credit and debt. I almost said debit. Credit and debt is another big one. Here you can pull that from the 101 course, or you can look at Pathways or Build, and that will help students learn about these topics. And then the economy and spending, you can look at Marketplaces or EVERFI Financial Literacy, that 101 course. Before I hop to that next slide, as we grow as a company, as EVERFI grows, we're going to kind of continue to have more of those bite-sized courses that are going to fit more by topic area. And so you can kind of build your library that way. So that is why some of our newer courses are just those little bits, because we know that teachers teach by topic, not always, that course isn't always just going to fit into every classroom. So we make it a little bit more flexible. I did want to let you know about this partnership with Avid that we have. If you are an Avid teacher, you'll probably be hearing about this coming down the pipeline, but we did just get news that Avid's course that they offer in schools is now going to integrate EVERFI's lessons. And so that's really, really exciting. If you're an Avid teacher, we have found that this just fits in with the classes that you're doing. But if you know of an Avid teacher, let them know about EVERFI. They're going to be hearing from the Avid powers, but it seems like kind of a match made in heaven. So if you have Avid at your school, let them know about EVERFI. All right. Again, with the billions of lessons I just explained to you, you have pre and post assessment information that comes to you in real time. You have optional offline lesson plans and introductory slides. I'll show you how to get to those. And then you will have different scholarship opportunities as well. And I'll show you how to access those. All right. That was so much. Before I get to how to actually get started, are there any questions about like the content or just kind of how these courses work? Drop it in the chat or come off mute. I'm happy to answer.
You had mentioned earlier that this access to all of this is free, or is there a subscription with the kids?
No subscription, nothing. It is completely free. And it's because those big partners, Mass Mutual, those banks, the NFL, they're all paying for this. And that is our model, that we are free to schools and teachers. So we sell to them, but we are free to schools and to teachers.
Okay.
And students, of course. Yeah. All right. Let me show you how to get access to all of this. So if your school does not use Clever or ClassLink, you will go to everfi.com/create. If your school uses Clever or ClassLink, I'll show you in a second what to do. But once you get to everfi.com/create, you click that you are a teacher, and then you have to create an account. So you create your first name, or you put in your first name, last name, you put in your school and your email address, and then you create your account that way. If you use Clever or ClassLink, so for CCSD and for Washoe, for sure, this is how you access it. But you go to your district portal, you find Clever, and then you find the EVERFI app. For those two big districts, we have been approved by your district. We're on there, we're ready to roll. You can start using these. If you are a different school district that I didn't just mention, and we are on your Clever, that means we've been approved for you to use. And so it's just ready to go. You don't have to have a single sign-on app or system to use EVERFI. We just integrate if you do have that. Once you create your account, and if you are a Clever teacher and you're having issues, just let me know. Sometimes the bridge between Clever and EVERFI just gets a little funky and we just got to clean it up a little bit, but that's not a problem. Once you have your account, this is what your teacher dashboard will look like. You'll have all these different tabs that I'm going to go through on the top. So on this Explore Courses page, this is where everything lives. This is where all the courses, even the middle school and elementary courses that we have, this is where they live. You will see the option to add to class, which just means create a class. If you see something that says request course, that just means that it's not in the same grade level that you marked on your account. So for an elementary course, you'll have to request it. We approve all requests, but that's just kind of a way for you to know, oh, this isn't meant for high schoolers. This is probably middle school or elementary. But if you need them, you request it and we let you use it. So that is how you will have access to every single course. The next tab is going to be the My Courses tab. So once you set up your classes, all of the courses that you used will show up on this tab. Also, if any of our sponsors have chosen your school, it'll let you know there, and you'll see the logo. So Mass Mutual would show up there because they've chosen your school, or whatever. You might have a local bank logo there, or the NFL might show up there. So it's just our way of saying, hey, these are like extra special for you, but you don't have to just create classes that are on that page. You can do it from the entire homepage. Next up, when you are creating the class, you hit add to class. You can add to existing classes or create a new one. If it's your first time on EVERFI, you'll be creating a new one. And then if you do not use Clever or ClassLink, you'll have a registration code for your students. And then when they go to log in, they just type in that registration code one time, similar to like Google Classroom. If you use Clever or ClassLink, you bypass this. It'll just automatically show up on the students' accounts. Once you have your classes created, you'll be able to name them, period 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever you want, or however you want to organize them. If you are a Clever school, it'll be named by your roster. So you'll see all of your rosters there. And it'll just say, class period 1, and then Clever always has funky names for everything. And so it'll list it there. But then you'll be able to see what courses you chose for each class. You'll be able to see how many students have not started, who has started, and if anyone is certified, and I'll talk about that in a minute. You can edit a class from this page as well to add another course, and you can always view that registration code if you need it, so you don't have to write it down anywhere. Next up, I guess I should have moved this slide back to that Explore page. On the Explore page where every single course is listed, you'll see them by topics like this, and every single course has that details button. And this details button is where you can actually preview the course. So you can go through it, see what the students are seeing. We have it almost unlocked for you so that you can click through really quickly and skip the assessment questions. It doesn't do that for the students, but as a teacher, we have it kind of an unlocked version for you. Here's where you can see the different standards. And then if you scroll down, you'll see the different planning resources and assessments. And so for every single course, we have curriculum guides, standard alignments, and then we have lesson plans made for you. So you can just get your students to log on and start using the lessons. That's absolutely fine. But if you want to build it out into an entire lesson plan that has an opening, an activity before or after the students get on the lessons, we have that ready for you. Works really great for sub plans right there for you. And I know some buildings require that teachers submit actual lesson plans for every single activity. So that's there for you too. There are also slides, introduction slides that are pre-made for you on there that you just copy right into your Google Slides, and they are not the course like in PowerPoint view. It's not that. It is just introduction slides to introduce your students to what you're going to be talking about. We also have the assessments that the students will be doing because they do pre and post assessments for every module. We have all the answer keys on there for you, and then you can incorporate those into your final or into other assessments if you want. You don't have to, but they're there. Everything is self-grading. So you've got your grade book tab. And this is where you can view student progress. So you can view it by different course, you can view it by class period, you can view it by student name, however you want. And then all of your students' details will populate into the grid there, and it will show you where they are in each module, if they've started, what page they are on, and so that you can be tracking where they are. And then you'll also see the grades for the assessments on this page too. The grades can be downloaded as a CSV file, so then you can upload that into whatever you use as your grade book. So we don't merge right into the grade book, but we download straight to a CSV that you can then upload. With those pre and post assessments, or rather just the post assessments, the students can retake those as many times as they want until they get 100. However, if they get a 60% or more on every single module, they become certified. So you could have an entire class or even school become certified in financial literacy, become certified in the credit course, become certified in cryptocurrency. And so that's just another motivation for those students and just to become certified in these cool topics. You also have the students tab, so you can see all of their login information. With Clever, it just populates as their Clever information. But if they created their own account, not with Clever or ClassLink, you'll see what they used as their username for when they obviously forget, because they are 9th grader and they're going to forget. And then you also have the option to reset their password, which is very, very helpful. So you don't have to go through EVERFI to do that. You can just reset their password. A couple more things on the teacher dashboard that I'm going to point out. There is a support tab so that you have multiple ways if you need any help at all. The red circle there is our technical support center, where there are guides for like creating a class, how to view student progress, things like that. My email address will be listed up there at all times. So you can just email me. I'm happy to answer anything. And then we've got those scholarship opportunities listed as well. And so I would encourage you to check out all of the different scholarship opportunities for even, it's not just for seniors, it's for 9th grade through 12th grade. At the bottom, there is a chat for you to just chat anytime during school hours. There's someone always on deck ready to answer questions there if you don't want to wait for an email back from me. And so it's just anything that you would need help with, this is where you would go to find the help. The last thing, this is that teacher support center I mentioned. The last thing I'm going to mention on your teacher dashboard is that invite a teacher button. So by clicking on that button, you put in a colleague's email address. You can do as many as you want. If they, before you send this, are not using EVERFI, you send it. And then after they start using EVERFI, you get a $15 Amazon gift card for every single teacher. $15 Amazon gift card donation, shall I say? We have to say donation. And so feel free to add in everyone in your school. Just hit that, and then that just lets them know, hey, I'm using this. It's cool. You should use it too. And then there's something in it for you as well. So I've been telling everyone, if take advantage of this if your colleagues didn't join you on this lovely Saturday and get your money. So how students get access is with Clever or ClassLink. All they do is find the EVERFI app, verify their age, then they'll only see what their teachers assign them. They hit start. It's that simple. For schools that don't have ClassLink or Clever, they just enter in that registration code, enter in their birthday, and then they create a username and password. And then after that, then they just see what their teacher assigned them. So this is the student dashboard. It's very streamlined. They'll only see what is assigned to them. And then at any point, if another teacher wants to add a course, they'll see that on their screen automatically if they're clever. If not, they will just enter in that code up at the top. And again, EVERFI folks are here to help at any point with any of this. And so what now? Well, you've heard just about everything I have, everything about EVERFI ever, but think about where this is a good placement for you, your school, your district. And then just know that there are opportunities where we can come train your teachers, even if it's just, your grade level teachers, and you just want a one-on-one on, hey, help us set this up. We also do free PDs. So know that we can do this as for an entire school, an entire grade, an entire subject area, we can do trainings, and we can do it from like, hey, this is what EVERFI is, all the way down to we are setting up the 9th grade classes. Like we can get nitty gritty with it. Next up is start using, see what you like, see what you want to change. Let us know, how it's going. And then that's when EVERFI would let you know about the different sponsor events if they apply to your school, or scholarships. And then after that, we just want to be your partner as we keep going, as we keep adding courses. So where else can we grow this, and where else can we use EVERFI in your school district? So I'm sure you guys are about brain dead after a whole day of listening to everything, but here's my information one more time. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. If you want to meet because you're like, I need a different time to digest this, you can schedule a meeting with me using that QR code. And even if you just want to like meet about this next school year, shoot me an email. Let's get it on the calendar. Happy to do that. I know this school year is kind of coming to an end, and it's a lot. And so if this needs to be something that happens next school year, we can do that too. But are there any other questions that I can answer? Awesome. Okay, I'm going to stick around until the end of the session. If you have any questions that pop up, let me know. If you start to create your account and create your classes, go ahead. And then just if you're stuck or if you need any help, I'll be in the chat. But thank you so much for letting me join you on this Saturday. And I hope to be in touch with you as I see you create lots and lots of EVERFI classes. Thanks, everyone.